Well, I definitely had some hits and some misses this year so far, and we're just going to talk about it all. Hey there, Julia here. On this channel, I talk about pens, inks, journaling, and planning. This year, I've been bullet journaling in a pre-printed planner. I've switched up a few things from my usual, added in an ink journal, a ring planner, and I just kind of wanted to do a mid-year check-in on how things are going. Okay, we are going to start with my reading journal, which is a little weird this year. I do have a flip through for most of this journal, and I'll leave it linked for you up above and in the description. But for this year, it's a little weird because it's very much so minimal. I do like the lower commitment and more space that I've been giving myself for writing versus decoration. And that's been really helpful wrapping up my thoughts after reading a book. And so even like this short story collection, I was able to write something about every short story, which was really nice. The weird part about it is that I do have it split into another book. Like I have my little book bracket and all of that, but I am keeping kind of a full record of all the books that I'm reading in another journal, and I'll show you that a little later. But I still have quite a bit in this journal, and I honestly don't know if I'm going to finish it up just because I know that this reading journal situation is in transition for me this year. I'm still thinking about what sort of system I want to move this into. But I really do love having a place to specifically talk about books and kind of track what I'm reading. So this is the reading journal. It's going fine. It's just a little weird because it's in transition this year. The next one, I feel really maybe embarrassed. I don't know, embarrassed if it's the right word, but like more disappointed that I haven't touched it at all this year, and that's my sketchbook. I don't know what to say. I really need to spend some more time with it. I really was enjoying this sketching practice of doing faces. And does this one have a date on it? I don't think so, but it's definitely been a while since I've touched this sketchbook. And I recently talked to my therapist, and we kind of got around to kind of carving out time for me to go to a coffee shop or to the library or just to a park and spend my lunch break sketching. And so that is hopefully a practice that I will pick up the second half of the year. But for now, this has just been a pretty notebook to look at. The next one is my NM travel insert. Ooh, look at that match. So I've been using this to document mostly work trips around New Mexico. I've added some stickers that I've gathered out in the field. If you don't know, my husband and I have a branding business together, and one of our main contracts is with the state of New Mexico. And so we go around quite a bit into Main Street communities and provide design assistance there. And so a lot of these trips I've documented in here, and I just think they're super fun. And this is mostly caught up. I think I have maybe one more trip to add, though we're about to go back to Tucumcari. But this has just been really fun, and I'm sure it's going to be really great to look back on. I do like the size. However, it's not really in anything. Like, I don't put it in a traveler's notebook, which I guess is fine because I like the option of being able to take this with me. But 9 times out of 10, I'm doing these spreads when I'm back home. The next one is my R&D journal, which I've been using mostly for Ferris Wheel Press writing samples and just ink writing samples. And I've been keeping up with that. And I think this is going to be really fun to flip through whenever it's nice and full. But Overall, this is just a fun one. I started doing a little bit of collaging with the ink samples. Some art here. This one I even added in, it's falling apart, this little pressed flower in there, and that was really fun. And as you can see, there are different papers stuck in here with the swatch, because I think I've said quite a few times that Arch and Olive paper is not the best for fountain pen ink and pen. Like anything bigger than like a fine nib just looks a little not ideal, I guess. And so I do have noted on the side which papers I'm using to do the swatching with. Yeah, this has been really fun. It has been used when needed. The next one is probably my favorite journal of the year so far. This is my ink journal, and I absolutely cannot wait for a full flip through with this, which, I mean, we're getting there. I only have like this much paper left, so I don't even think that I'm gonna make it through the whole year at the rate that this is going. But I just love having the little stickers and the notes that I've gotten with pen swaps in here. I have my swatches of all my bottles and mixes. I have records of my fountain pens and when I ink them. And then every month I have the currently inked. And then I've also been doing mid-month check-ins. So the changes that have happened to my currently inked, if I've inked up anything new, just my thoughts of the pen and ink pairings for the month. And that's been really fun. And then I've also been doing an inked in review and sort of rating all of the pairs and picking a favorite here. So that's been really fun. I've been marking when I've gotten new nibs, ink swaps, just everything kind of related to fountain pens and inks. And it's just so fun. I love this so much. I will say that there should be some changes going forward, maybe with the next ink journal that I set up. I don't think I need my pens in here because it gets a little chaotic where I've set up all of these pens, and then if I get a new pen, I just kind of set it up wherever. And so whenever I go and look for a pen to do the little ink sample here, it's kind of a pain to try to figure out where the pen is in this notebook. So I already know that maybe I need some sort of ringed system, something I can pull pages out, move them around if a pen gets sold, which there are quite a few in here. So I've definitely learned that something needs to happen with the pens. And then another thing is I don't think I need my full ink collection in here. I still reference this A6 Hobonichi Day Free more for figuring out what I want to ink in pens to have a good match because I have them grouped by color. So I think that I need to rethink the pen and ink system. And again, maybe the pen and inks go in some sort of ringed situation because I've run out of space for green inks and for blue inks. And so it's, you know, flipping back here. I have blue continued. I have green continued. So it's just a little bit of a mess. So that will be something that I need to think through a little more for next time. Also, this is a B6. This is an A6. I quickly learned that the A6 was too small to be doing my currently inked in. And then it turned out that the B6 is too small. And I've had some issues with trying to fit my currently inked in there. And so maybe I slip into an A5 for next time. But yes, this has still been one of my favorite journals of the year. The next one is my social media and content planner. And this is a Hobonichi Day Free in the A5 size. And this is a Hobonichi cover that I've just added a little patch on. This patch glows in the dark. It's so cool. Anyways, I can be super messy in this journal. I've scheduled in where I want Instagram posts to go, when videos are released, when I'm filming certain videos, and sort of marking in when we're going to be out of town so I can see when I can film things. And so this has just been really helpful to just be messy on these calendars. And then in the back here, I just have outlines for videos. Again, just super messy. Also notes from our YouTube mastermind meetings and anything like content related ideas, things of the sort I keep in here. And it's just been nice to have it all in one place. I have tried the calendar portion of this digitally in Notion, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work for me, but I do keep a video log in my Notion. And I definitely think this may be a practice that I want to carry on, obviously throughout the rest of this year, but into next year as well. I think this has been really helpful in planning out content and also planning out when I can make videos in particular. So this is this. The next one is my life journal insert, and I do have a super chunky life journal flip through on the channel as well. I'll leave that linked, of course, and I'm missing a 0 here. These stickers are not it. But I've been really enjoying this. It took me a while to get started on it. The first entry is in February, but I think I didn't start working in this until like March or April, maybe even May. But this is just a place to journal about just life happenings. Like I got new glasses, the eclipse, my dog's birthday, me working on nib grinds, pen giveaways, these one-off trips. Super fun to collage and put ephemera in places. That's pretty much all I have in here so far. I like the size of this because it doesn't feel as intimidating to fill a page, but I feel like it shouldn't be a TN insert just because it hasn't gone in a traveler's cover at all, because again, it's something that I usually do after the fact. So I need to think of something that has, the paper that I like in this smaller size so that it doesn't feel overwhelming and it's still fun to do, but maybe not a traveler's insert, because I don't love when these get too bulky, and I feel like this has the potential to get pretty bulky. So any suggestions for this and anything really, especially the ink journal? And if you have any suggestions of what I could use maybe next year or just going forward, let me know. But this is the life journal insert so far. The next one is my 5-year journal, and I typically work in this journal at night right before bed. I can't really show you too much in here because it is quite personal, but I have been loving it. I'll show you how it's set up. So this is the month of August, and you have a place to sort of write your intentions for the month. I've been using this as an inked section to sort of show what pens and inks I'm using throughout the month. And then you just write a few lines every day, and then you flip to the next. They're all dated. And then you get to the end of the month and you have a little recap section. I haven't been really using the recap section, but it is there. And then it goes on to the next month. And so you have 5 years of just reflecting on what happened on this particular day. And so I've been really enjoying this. I also love that in the back here, you have some overflow for if you have more thoughts than just this area, you can kind of finish out back here, and there's plenty of pages back here for overflow thoughts. But I've really been loving this. It's a B6 sterling ink 5-year planner, and then I just have it situated in a Galen leather B6 cover. I love the color. It's been perfect and not really a burden to take along with me on trips. So I really have been enjoying this year. The next one is the Filofax personal size ring planner, and I've been using this as sort of a home and business reference planner. So pretty much everything in here I've made, as far as these like little dividers for business and for our home things. I'm trying to see if there's anything that I could even show you. I do have these little sections for our dogs. I have preferences. So if we like a particular paper towel or something like that, that's in here. Also budgeting list. So I have my little low buy plan and rules, and a little review for my low buy, which I have not been doing at all. So all of these are blank. And then I have little inserts for online orders, which I started to do, but really did not keep up with them because I kind of have a system in my email inbox that I like using more than writing it down. So that's something to note. I keep up with any social media income, so from affiliate sales and Etsy sales and things like that. And then I also have all of my credit cards and like insurance cards and things like that that I don't want to carry around with me in my wallet all the time. I kind of have those back here. So I do like this. I just wish that I used it more. I do use the business section quite a bit, and just some of these like the social income I do use an update on a monthly basis. And I like having these different sections. I like the layout of this and I like the idea of this, but I think for what's in here now, I could be using something thinner and maybe use this cover for something else. The next one that we're going to talk about is my wallet planner. So this has become my wallet this year and I've been liking it. I have in here, my go-to payment cards are usually here. I have my ID typically here, and this is just like a lanyard holder that I got from like a conference or something, and then I just use the little bookmark string that's in the Travelers Company covers, and I just like strung it and tied it super tight to this string, and it seems to be working well. It is a little loose, but I just needed something clear so I can like flash my ID. So that was my solution for that. I have this Galen leather insert that has a place for me to keep receipts, any cash back here, cards right there. And then I have a little planner, and this is the Sterling Ink passport size planner. And so every month here, I just have the calendar and I filled in any events or meetings. Most Mondays, I come in here and update during my admin day task list. One of the tasks is to go in and update the calendar here and just kind of cross-reference this with my main planner. And that hasn't really been too hard to do. It hasn't been like a lifesaver yet because 9 times out of 10, I do carry my main planner with me, but it's been a nice reference to have just in case. I do wish the planner itself had more overflow. There's only like a few pages back here, and I don't need like goals in here. I've been using the quarterly goals as a future log area, but don't need the super small vertical calendar thing. I just wish that it was set up a little bit different in the front where I can just have like some future planning, some future log space, the calendars, and then more blank pages in the back for notes. But overall, I think it's been working quite nicely as a wallet. Okay, speaking of my main planner, let's get to it. This is the B6 Paper Test Designs yearly notebook, and I am in love with this. It's housed in a Moterm B6 cover, and the cover's been great. I love the extra space here. I love the pockets this way and that way. There's pockets. I love all of these for decoration mostly. I hardly ever put anything functional in here, but I really do love that. In the back, There is even a few pockets, and that's been really great to have as well. The size is super portable. I've been able to put this in my purse. I've been able to just easily bring this along on travels and just have all of my things in one place. And it's been so nice. I will say that I probably could do a 2-book situation here because, we are in June and half of the book is completed. I hardly see myself going back to some of these other months. And so maybe a 2-book system would be nice for a fresh start mid-year. But overall, it's been great. So something that I deployed back in April is using the index cutter that I got from JetPens or Yoseka. I think they both have them, but I've been using these index cutters and it has a cut on the side where I can get back to these weekly pages, because that was a little bit of a pain from January to April, just trying to flip back to this weekly spread once I was, deep into a week. So they're easy to get to like this. And then if I want to flip back to a monthly calendar, I did this one on the wrong page. I also have markers down here where I can get to the calendar spread quickly. Here for June. So that's been really a game changer. And I just like how this looks on the side. Like, it's very easy to see where those weekly spreads are. And funnily enough, I have not gotten tired of the layout. The layout has been super fun to figure out. You can definitely see, like, at the beginning of the year, how I was a little unsure of how I was going to use all of these daily pages. I even put some movie reviews in here and just some journaling. But then as the months went on, I sort of got into a rhythm of what these daily pages could look like, and I definitely love them now. I love having all the space to decorate or not to decorate. Like these, very minimal as far as decoration, and I'm fine with a little bit of white space. But, it's fun to add in pictures, and I don't know, I've just been really loving this. I love the paper. I love that the calendars are already set up and correct, so I don't have to worry about messing that up. And then in the beginning of the year, I was putting meeting notes in the daily sections as well, but I decided to make a little B6 insert myself and put meeting notes in here because I don't really go back to meeting notes once I put them in Notion. So a part of my admin day is taking meeting notes and putting it into Notion where everything has like a project page. And so that's why you see this little sticky. I use this to note when I have new notes that need to go into Notion. And then once those notes are in Notion, I put a little dot sticker on there just so I don't miss anything. But yeah, this has been super helpful, and I can just change this out once this gets full and not have it junk up my planner, because meeting notes can get a little chaotic. So I like having that in a separate little thin insert here. Let me know if you guys want to hear more about how I'm utilizing this planner for like ease of use, for, bullet journaling, the setups, all of that. Let me know if you want to know more about how I'm making this work for me. But it has been so good. And I totally forgot about my yearly spreads journal. So I set this one up for 2024. And before that, it was just kind of a collections, kind of mishmash of spreads. And so I have been keeping up with this, with the Polaroids and travel. And here's where the books are. So again, not loving the book roundup in a different notebook, but again, in that transition period, I haven't added anything else. And I don't know, it's here, it's a journal. I do love having the Polaroids all in one place. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this yearly spreads journal. I don't know if it will continue. I can see myself just like taking out these 2024 pages, putting them in something else to archive, and just, I don't know. I don't know what to use this notebook for anymore. And there's nothing on the notebook itself. It's a great notebook. I've just changed a little bit when it comes to the paper that I like to write on, and this super thick 160 GSM paper for me right now is just, it's just not it. Okay. And then the only planner that I've added other than the ink journal switch up is this anti-planner. So this is the Sterling Ink Common Planner Compact A5. I got this thinking that this was going to be my main planner for the year back in late, well, not even that late, like fall 2023. And I even started to set it up for the year. Let me see if I can find. I had already had this index page in here. I had already set up some pages. And so once I found that Paper Test Designs B6 planner, I was like, oh no, I can't sell this. I already had the tabs on it. So I decided to make it my anti-planner. And it's still in quite the discovery phase, but I do reach for it a lot, and it is gonna be fun to flip through because I think it'd be hilarious to flip through, but it's just me testing out nibs, playing with inks, writing grocery lists. Like, it's the wild west in here. And so like this was me grinding a nib, so that's fun. Just wild. This was for the Etsy shop, so there's just a lot of stuff in here, and so I think it'd be funny and fun to flip through that once everything is all filled out. I need this at my desk to reach for when I don't want to tarnish my other notebooks and planners. This has just been so great to have. So, you know, I recommend an anti-planner. So that's pretty much it. I've been loving what I've been reaching for this year so far. I feel like it's still in a discovery phase, and I'm totally fine with that. It's been super fun this year to try different things. So there's going to be no hard changes going forward, but with Stationery Fest coming up soon, I am looking into the plotter for maybe that pen and ink journal, or maybe for the house reference situation, since that's a little thinner, but I'm not sure. And then I also really miss my TN. I haven't used it as much since traveling overseas last year. And so I do kind of miss having that TN set up, which I think I am going to do for Stationery Fest. We'll see. But let me know how it's going for you this year with our mid-year check-in. Are you changing anything up? Are you trying anything new? Let me know down in the comments. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like the video if you've enjoyed. If you want to see me bright-eyed and bushy-tailed about my lineup for this year, I'll leave that video for you up here, and I'll catch you all in the next one.